So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K25 Next Gen. And in today's video, we have the Phoenix Suns. This is a Suns team that obviously has one of the better big threes in all of basketball, that being Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. Unfortunately for them, last season they won 49 games, ended up as the 6th seed in a very good West, and then got swept in round 1 by Anthony Edwards in the Minnesota Timberwolves. So this is a team that has obviously been moving in a direction of win now for quite some time. Of course, we all remember their finals appearance back in 2021, and of course, just a season ago, acquiring Kevin Durant. So this is a core that is basically locked in for many years to come. There is not a lot of flexibility with this group, which definitely makes me a little nervous, because if we saw what we saw last year once again, that is a very dangerous position to be in. We'll talk about this full roster and some of the moves they made this offseason. I was actually a little bit of a fan of some of the decisions that they did make, so we'll get into all of that in just a second. But before we do, as always, let me know any other rebuild ideas down below in the comment section. After this video, we have 6 of these regular rebuilds to go, if you will. Of course, always going to be getting into some of the challenge series that we do and all the other fun rebuilds. So let me know which ones you want me to do next down below. So Phoenix, I know you guys are itching for a championship. I am hopeful that I will be able to bring that here to you today. Let's get into it. Even at 36 years old, it is very evidently clear that Kevin Durant is still one of the best basketball players in the world. He obviously is now teamed up with Devin Booker and Bradley Beal, and as we talked about and touched on in the intro, this is a big three that really doesn't have any movement. Like, this is a big three that is going to be locked in for years to come, and I think really the future and the direction of this team is going to be decided by the surrounding pieces to that big three. So let's go ahead and talk about the team right now. Of course, starting out here at the point guard spot, they do have Devin Booker listed as a point guard. Now, whether he's playing the 1 or the 2, I am not sure the way we're going to go about that today, but Devin Booker, obviously one of the better guards in the entirety of the league, 27 years old. Sometimes I can't believe he's going into like year 10. I mean, it's just absolutely mind-boggling to think that he's been in the league that long, and my God, I am getting old. But Devin Booker is obviously very, very good. He is very, very elite, and he is somebody that we will be building around here today. One of the moves they made this offseason was signing Tyus Jones to basically a 1-year, $2 million contract. I actually cannot believe that Tyus Jones only got that much money. Shout out to Grant Williams up the new CBA. You really fucked that one up, pal. But no, Tyus Jones was actually one of the positives of this offseason. This is a team that has desperately been looking for some sort of playmaking at this point guard spot. And I'm not saying Tyus Jones is, prime John Stockton or anything like that, but he is certainly an upgrade from what they had last year here. You got Monte Morris here as well. Very similar contract to Tyus Jones, similar age, 3 overalls lower. Will likely be a nice depth piece for us here in today's video. We head to the shooting guard spot. Of course, Bradley Beal listed as the starting shooting guard right now. We remember the blockbuster deal they made an offseason ago with the Washington Wizards, and of course landed Beal to complete the big three. So, Bradley Beal, I believe, is one of the only players in the NBA with a full no trade clause. So, not saying his contract is necessarily tradable right now, but his first season with Phoenix, I would say, was less than what maybe many people were hoping it would be. So, Bradley Beal is still a good player. There's no doubt about that. I'm not saying he's some bum, but for $50+ million annually, we're going to need a little bit more out of him. Damian Lee is here. Good 3-point shooter, 74 overall. He's somebody that I'd like to see maybe just contribute in like a 10th man spot. He's probably not going to be much more than that for us here today. The small forward spot, Grayson Allen, I thought, his contract is actually really good. Of course, one of the elite 3-point shooters in this league, and as much of a scumbag as I think he is still going to be a really impactful piece for us here. Royce O'Neal, I like this signing quite a bit. 4 years, $44 million, 31 years old. I think he is going to be a nice rotation piece for us here. He ended up getting dealt from the Brooklyn Nets last season to the Phoenix Suns, and of course ended up re-signing him this offseason. You got Josh Okogie here. It's 2 years, $16 million. Again, just kind of a rotation piece for us. They have Ryan Dunn, of course, drafted this past year at number 28 overall. The power forward spot, Kevin Durant listed as our starting 4. All likelihood, that's where he's going to be. And as we just said just a moment ago, he's still one of the best players in the world, whether you want to believe it or not. So Kevin Durant, I think, just from I don't want to say this is a necessity, obviously. No matter what happens with the rest of Kevin Durant's career, we're all going to remember him as the very, very elite player that he was. Of course, a multiple-time NBA champion, an MVP winner, and truly one of the best of this generation. But I'm saying this not even just from a fan perspective or from a place of, I don't want to call it hatred, but like maybe just from an understanding. I think Kevin Durant has to win a ring with somewhere that's not Golden State. Obviously, remember the decision many years ago, him departing the Oklahoma City Thunder to join the Golden State Warriors, the team that beat him in the Western Conference Finals, and then, of course, got a couple rings there in Golden State, then left for the Nets. That was a little bit of a disaster, and then now traded to the Phoenix Suns. So, I'm not saying that the Suns are true title contenders, because at this point, I genuinely do not believe that, but I would like to see Kevin Durant get, at least one more ring with, somebody not named Steph Curry next to him. You got Bol Bol here. Many people were super high on Bol Bol at one point. I think he's kind of found what he's going to be in this league, which is a guy who can certainly come off the bench and maybe leave a little bit of an impact, but is never going to really be anything more than that. Osa, I'm not even going to lie to you. I have no idea who this is. I might be lying to all of your faces if I was sitting here and going to lie to you. So I don't know who this is. Osa Igodaro. He's a second round pick this year. I have no idea. And then the center spot, Jusuf Nurkic. Jusuf Nurkic. I'm not really sure what to expect. If I'm being completely honest with you, this is a position I would certainly like to upgrade. When we think of Jusuf Nurkic, I guess we think of, his beef with Draymond Green, because that's all I really got at this point. Mason Plumlee is a serviceable backup center option. So that's the team. Of course, it's a very top-heavy squad. There is not nearly as much depth on this contending team as there are many other Western Conference contenders. So, heading into year one, I don't know how many moves there will be, maybe one or two, but there are certainly a few possibilities with this group. We're going to end up making one trade before we kick off year one, and maybe this is a little bit of a surprise to some of you, but it's going to be a deal here with the Sacramento Kings where we send Bol Bol, Damian Lee, and a 2028 second-round pick to Sacramento, and we are landing ourselves Keon Ellis and a 2027 first-round pick. Now, I'm doing this deal for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, Keon Ellis is a clear-cut upgrade over Damian Lee. I don't think many people would argue that. Second, Bol Bol's an expiring contract, and although he's still relatively young at 24 years old, he's probably not somebody I'm going to give any sort of serious money to this offseason, and likely was not going to re-sign anyway. So we move on from him. I have the power forward spot figured out. Do not worry about it. And then third, and the final reason, is we're getting a draft pick. Of course, we all are very much aware of how much draft capital the Phoenix Suns have spent over the past few years, not only acquiring Bradley Beal, but Kevin Durant as well, and if we can put another draft pick in the chamber, I do not think it is the worst idea in the world. So welcome to the team, Keon Ellis. I am excited to have you here. Let's set the rotation. Here we go for our first season in Phoenix. As you can see by looking at the starting five, I have moved some positions around. Bradley Beal obviously starting at R3, not necessarily the best idea in the world in 2024, but we are going to make it work for at least one season. And then moving Devin Booker back to his natural position of shooting guard. As I mentioned in the intro and at the beginning of this rebuild, I really like the Tyus Jones signing. I think he is going to start on this team, and I'm going to go ahead and do that here today. Again, he's an expiring deal. Maybe it's going to end up hurting us in the long run, but as of now, Tyus Jones will be in this starting five. You obviously have Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. KD going to be starting at the 4, then Jusuf Nurkic at the 5. Maybe a big surprise in there. I don't really know. Grayson Allen will be my 6th man off the bench again, kind of coming in with that second unit, bringing a lot of elite shooting, something that can definitely never hurt the squad. We're obviously made a deal with the Kings to land ourselves Keon Ellis. You got Mason Plumlee here, Monte Morris, and then Royce O'Neal, who I actually moved to the backup power forward spot. At this point, if I left him at small forward, he's kind of like the third guy, and then he really wouldn't be getting any minutes. So he'll be taking over at the backup 4. He went down 1 overall. It is not the end of the world. And obviously this is going to be under Mr. Mike Budenholzer. So I'm excited for this team. Again, I don't know if we're like top of the West, like some of these other really, really good teams, but we have at least found ourselves a direction and a team that I think is much better than the group they had just a year prior. So I'm excited. Here goes nothing. See you guys at the end of year one. Year one is officially over. It sees us finish with a record of 47-35. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm super proud about that. I'm also not going to sit here and tell you I'm super surprised about that. It kind of is what it is. Luka Doncic, first career MVP. Reza Shea, Thompson, Wembanyama, Thompson, SGA, Jason Kidd. If you're wondering why I fly through those, it's because they're pretty much exactly identical every single video. Okay, we ended up as the 6th seed. Once again, this time we're going to be taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder in round 1, and I'm not really sure how that one's going to go. Here is a look at the East if you'd like to pause. Let's go over some numbers real quick. How did everybody perform? Kevin Durant was still absolutely fantastic, even at age 36. Devin Booker, super strong season. Bradley Beal, about what he was last season, about 18 points a game. Kind of just is what it is at this point. His shooting splits are still really good, so I guess that is maybe the one positive. He was a 67% free throw shooter, though. Now, that's not maybe too normal. Tyus Jones was a really nice 4th option and a really solid, I guess, kind of true point guard option for us, I guess. I mean, again, he's not, prime John Stockton, or he's not Trae Young or Tyrese Halliburton, but at least he's a relatively solid option there at that 1 guard. Grayson Allen off the bench. Jusuf Nurkic was, about half a point a game off of a double-double, so That field goal percentage for a guy who's 7 foot, I'd certainly like that to be a little bit higher, but again, we can live with it. Mason Plumlee, Monte Morris. I thought Keon Ellis would actually be a little bit higher in the scoring department, but it is what it is. Rebounds led by Nurkic, and then assists was actually Devin Booker. So we have the Thunder here in round one. It is certainly not my favorite matchup in the world because they are, although I guess somewhat young team at this point. I mean, I don't even know if you want to still call them super young because they are, probably a really big contender in the West at this point. So here goes nothing. We drop game one on the road, do win game two, lose game three at home, also lose game four at home, and officially get bounced in 5 by the Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay, that obviously can't happen, right? When you have Kevin Durant and Devin Booker and Bradley Beal, you cannot suffer back-to-back first-round losses. I don't care what seed you are. I don't care what the situation is. Celtics and Mavericks once again. Jason Tatum, your finals MVP this time around, and they go back-to-back. Okay, we are certainly in the market to make some moves, right? It would be an absolute idiot if I decided to just completely run this thing back and just say, you know what, maybe it'll get better next year. Because let's be honest with each other, it won't. KD's not getting younger. Beal's not getting any younger. They don't want to waste Devin Booker's career. So, you know what? We're going to go ahead and make some pretty big decisions pretty quickly. Wow, the Magic were bad enough to have the number 1 overall pick. That is a surprise. I'm not a huge Budenholzer fan. The ratings are okay. I'm not saying he is, on the hot seat. I'm also not saying he has 100% job security. It just kind of is what it is. You can only go through so many head coaches in so many years. So he'll hang on for now, but we are going to keep a close eye on that head coaching spot. So we approach the 2025 NBA draft. We do not have our first round pick. And again, this is another reason why I made the deal with the Sacramento Kings, because as you can see, we also only have one other tradable draft pick. So yeah, not my favorite position to be in. So we will not be drafting anybody this year. We will hit team player options. Keon Ellis will be brought back. Qualifying offers, Ty Washington Jr., Colin Gillespie, probably not. And as we approach free agency here, do we really have anyone? Mason Plumlee? We'll probably consider some other options there. But first and foremost, we are going to be making some trades. I actually cannot believe the Orlando Magic are willing to do a deal like this. Not really sure why, and although it would be nice to hang on to, I guess a young player like Keon Ellis who knows what his development looks like, to land myself Franz Wagner, who is 23 years old, obviously locked up long-term and already a higher overall with Bradley Beal, while not giving up a single draft pick, it feels like about as big of a win as you can actually get. So yeah, I'm going to take this and run with it. Actually, I'll just show you real quick because I know people probably won't believe me. Although this is not a realistic rebuild, I'm certainly not going to take Bradley Beal's no trade clause off. So he has to, accept it, whatever, reality you want to put out there. And I'm going to go ahead and take this deal. I also considered marketing, but I get marketing a lot. This deal here with the Orlando Magic, though. Thank you very much, Orlando. It's a pleasure doing business with you. Again, maybe a little bit more of a natural fit at that 3 spot with Wagner than it was with Beal. So, yeah, obviously Bradley Beal was a big swing. He spent the entirety of his career in Washington, and a lot of the time was just on teams that just completely sucked. So, Bradley Beal was a nice attempt at, kind of going all in for a championship, but it did not work out, and it's probably not going to work out in real life as well. But here in 2K, people want him. They want that contract, and I'd certainly take Franz Wagner. This is going to end up being a bit of a risky proposition, at least for right now. As you can see, we are making a deal here with the Portland Trailblazers. We are sending out Yusuf Nurkic, Goga Batazde, who we obviously just got from the Magic, and the only 2 draft picks that we currently have that are tradable assets. I didn't want to give up both the draft picks, but a deal like this that's going to land us Danny Avdija and Robert Williams feels like a bit of a no-brainer. Robert Williams and Yusuf Nurkic are the same exact overall. If I had to pick one in this hypothetical world where injuries don't matter and everything like that, it's obviously going to be Robert Williams. And Danny Avdija is going to be a really nice bench piece for me, because that's something we're also lacking a little bit, especially after the Keon Ellis deal, is quality depth. So I'm super excited about this trade. I think that is another deal that's just going to not only add some depth, but also add a little bit more star power. I honestly feel awful for the Orlando Magic. It feels like we're just completely ripping them off this video, but we're making another pretty big deal with them. This time sending out Grayson Allen, Josh Okogie, Oso here, Royce O'Neal, and we are landing ourselves Cole Anthony and Jonathan Isaac. We're really doing this deal to find ourselves a new starting point guard. Tyus Jones was on basically a 1-year minimum, and I don't have bird rights on him, meaning I'm probably not going to be able to pay him to retain his services. So landing a new point guard here in Cole Anthony, obviously a bit younger, a little bit more potential, and a nice depth piece here with Jonathan Isaac. So, we've slowly but surely improved this team. We still obviously need to find ourselves a backup point guard and shooting guard. We haven't have some serious options at this small forward spot. I also would like to get Ryan Dunn some minutes at some point. I just don't know if it's going to be right now. We'll figure that one out. Isaac will back up KD, and then we do need to find ourselves a backup center as well. So my options are not going to be great here. I fully understand that, but we have to just kind of consider all different paths right right now. So a guy like Karis LeVert, I know I've signed him in the past, but he is pretty much very needed right now in today's video. We're going to let Jones go. We're going to let Morris go. And honestly, Washington and Gillespie as well. So welcome to the team, Karis LeVert. Super excited to have him here. The point guard options are certainly not great, and that's kind of expected. It actually is going to let me bring back Monte Morris. All right, that's fine by me. I mean, he's only 30. It is what it is. And then the center spot is, yeah, this is just kind of the unfortunate situation we find ourselves in. I'll honestly take a flyer on Mo Bamba, and I'm only saying that because he, I guess, is relatively young and probably won't see a lot of regression. So that is the squad. That is the team we are working with. I think we are in a much better spot than we were a year ago. I'll see you guys at the start of year number 2. Second season in Phoenix has arrived. Obviously, last season ended up as the 6th seed for the second straight year. I'm also including real life right now. And we're once again swept. That's obviously not acceptable. This offseason, we decided to make some pretty big moves. Basically continued to mortgage our future, which I guess on paper isn't the smartest thing in the world to do, but here in a 3-year rebuild, we don't really have any other choice. New additions, though, in the starting 5. Cole Anthony obviously paired up with Devin Booker in this backcourt. Franz Wagner is a beautiful new addition at this small forward spot. Again, Bradley Beal was not only going to regress, he's also not a small forward. Kevin Durant is going down a little bit in the overall department, and we'll keep an eye on it, but end of the day, we're not trading KD. And then excited to have Robert Williams here as well. Bench unit, I'd say he's got a little bit better, honestly. Denny Avdi has a really solid elite 6th-man option. Brought in Jonathan Isaac as well. Brought in Karis LeVert. Still got Monte Morris. And then Mo Bamba, who is a 74 overall, and maybe a little bit lower as a backup center option than I would maybe like, is definitely good enough. So I'm excited. I will see you guys at the end of year number 2. Look, I'm not going to say we're perfect, but we are about as close to perfect as we've been so far in this video. Year 2 ends at 61-21. Such a big jump from last year. I am just very excited for the playoffs, where last year I was kind of dreading them. Luka wins another MVP. Ace Bailey, a rookie of the year in Utah. Jaden Ivey still in Detroit, your 6th man. Wemby wins another DPOY. Alex Sarr, most improved. Also, the fundamental reason for a most improved player award is not to reward the number 1 or number 2 overall pick in a draft. It's stupid. We have lost the basis with what this award was created to be. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Trae Young, Clutch Player of the Year, and Jason Kidd, still winning Coach of the Year. It is what it is. Okay, it is standings time. We are the 2 seed. So, like I said, the worst, we won't have to see Luka Doncic until the Western Conference Finals. Of course, that is hypothetically, but he does not, or I guess we don't have a good history with Luka. Here is a look at the Eastern Conference. Let's go over some numbers real quick. On the season, led in points per game by Devin Booker. Kevin Durant, both about 22.5 points per game. Franz Wagner, kind of similar numbers in terms of the points for what we had with Bradley Beal, but I don't know. I'll still take Franz Wagner any day of the week. Cole Anthony was a really nice upgrade at our point guard spot. Denny Avdia, Karis LeVert, Rob Will, Isaac Morris, and then Mo Bamba. Rebounding department led by Rob Will, and assists was Mr. Booker. Okay, I'm going in the wrong direction. We are facing a play-in team. That play-in team is going to be the Sacramento Kings. Devin Carter, Malik Monk. They've added Lauri Markkanen to their squad as well. And did they trade De'Aaron Fox for Lauri Markkanen? Why would you do that? That's just, oh man, I don't like that. Okay, first round of the West playoffs. Quick 2-0 lead for us. Quick 3-0 lead for us. Okay, they win game 4 in the, no. 2K. Thank you. I'm not playing with you today. And here goes nothing. We're out for a revenge. I would like a little bit of revenge on Ant and the rest of the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're still a really solid team. There's no doubt about that. But if I can go ahead and maybe get a little bit of a victory this time. No, 2K. Oh, boy. No. Anthony Edwards just fucking owns us, I guess, is the way to put it nicely. I mean, my God. This is tough. Okay. All right. That's obviously not the ending we were hoping for after a 61-win season. It is Luka and my fucking lord at this point. And as we approach our final offseason, we obviously continue to have to make big decisions. It's not like we have a lot of draft capital in the bank. I know first and foremost, Rob Will and Cole Anthony are both going to be unrestricted free agents. How does Denver have the number 1 overall pick? I'm going to hang on to Budenholzer. You can see our staff budget up there is about $7 million annually. I mean, Stauffer doesn't have any offers. But it's basically, if I don't get Stauffer, I'm basically cooked. Because I don't think Mazzulla is going to accept. And honestly, for whatever reason, that bozo, Mike Budenholzer, has better ratings than Joe Mazzulla. Jason Kidd could be a nice option, but he has 5 offers, and we probably don't have enough money. So is it worth the risk of going out and getting Stauffer? Are those ratings with Budenholzer good enough? I don't think so. That's such a risk, and this may come back. We're not getting him. Oh, we're fucked. We are royally... Hello? Why What the fuck? What the hell was that? All right, we're still Stauffer's only offer. Still his only offer. Oh my God, I cannot believe we got him. Why would nobody else want our coach with perfect ratings? Obviously got a nice upgrade at the coaching spot. We have no draft picks here. We have 1 first and 1 second as tradable. Oh, Cole Anthony had a team option. That's beautiful. Robert Williams will be entering unrestricted free agency. Of course, have to make sure we get. Oh shit, forgot. Whoa, forgot about Kevin Durant. I would certainly like to retain him. And let's just pay KD, because if he leaves, I mean, we're cooked. Then the video's over. So let's pay Rob Will as well. We get both of these guys back. Monte Morris now gone. Probably time for a little upgrade there anyways. Let's make some trades. Big blockbuster deal with another Western Conference contender. This one on paper may not make the most sense in the world, but hear me out. Denny Avdia, Cole Anthony, a 2030, that's insane to think about, 2nd round pick, and Mo Bamba all going to Oklahoma City for Kaysen Wallace and Nikola Topic. Now, Wallace is only two overalls higher than Anthony. But by the start of next season, I am pretty confident he'll be around an 84, 85 overall. And of course, we are in need of a backup point guard desperately. And Nikola Topic will probably be in the low 80s as well. Avdia is a really nice bench piece for us. But Ryan Dunn continues to progress. You guys didn't see it, but last season he was a 75 overall and didn't even sniff this rotation. I'm assuming he will be around a 77, 78 to start next season. And although it is lower than Avdia, it is certainly not as bad as some of the other bench pieces. So I think that is worth it. Now we are good at the point guard spot. Could consider an upgrade to LeVert. I do think I want to consider some backup center options as well. Like Steven Adams. Oh boy, that's not fun. This isn't fun either. My God. Okay. If I bring in Jose Alvarado, what happens to Topic hypothetically if I move him to the shooting guard spot? He actually goes up in overall. Now that 3-point shot's not elite, but I can actually live with that. So you know what? Nikola Topic actually going to turn into my backup shooting guard. We are going to sign Jose Alvarado because, you know what, he's still relatively, I don't want to say young, he's 28, but at least he's not, 32. And that is fine with me. And then now we're going to move Karis LeVert in hopes of finding myself a little bit of an upgrade at my backup center spot. And we do have a draft pick remaining, so I'm going to use it. And I'm going to pray that we can find somebody who is remotely competent at that backup 5. Oh boy, not really. Kel Ware might be as good as it's going to get. I'll take Khalil Ware if I can actually just not find anything better. So you know what? It is going to be Khalil Ware. Welcome to the team. Thank you very much, Miami Heat. And, yep, definitely still a risk. We are in a position where we haven't made major improvements, but it's about as good as we can get given the assets that we do have. I will see you guys at the start of year 3. Final year in Phoenix. It has not been a successful rebuild so far. You all know that. I know that. In this offseason, we made some moves to hopefully address some of our weaker positions. Of course, upgrading our point guard spot, as I suspected. Kaysen Wallace is developing quite nicely. Now up to an 84 overall. He joins Devin Booker. 3rd different point guard Booker's had in 3 years of this rebuild. Franz Wagner still here at our small forward spot. KD actually remaining steady at a 92, which is certainly nice to see. And then Robert Williams still around that 82, 81 range. Bench unit's going to be led by Nikola Topic. He's up to an 81. You got Jonathan Isaac still here. Ryan Dunn, as I also suspected, up to a 78. Khalil Ware, who we brought in, he's a 76 overall. He's a little bit of a better backup center option than Mo Bamba, and then Jose Alvarado, who actually did go down a few overalls, but not the end of the world. So that is the team. Outside of the personnel changes on the court, we also made a change at head coach in Mr. Mike Stauffer, who is very much needed in today's video, leading the charge with this team. So yeah, I mean, it's now, it's never. I mean, let's just go do the thing. I'll see you guys at the end of year 3. 68-14 is the record here at the end of our 3rd season. Obviously, that is the best regular season for us yet, and we are very hopeful that it can result in a championship. Luka Doncic, your MVP. AJ DeBance, the Rookie of the Year. Igor Demeen, your 6th man. Wemby, another deep boy. Kadeen Malik, Most Improved. SGA, Clutch Player of the Year. And Mike Stauffer, our guy, 68-14 here in his first season as our head coach. And just like that, we are on the verge of potentially our first championship of this video. So I'm a little nervous. I am not going to lie to you. There has been a lot kind of worked up into this. We have obviously made some major changes throughout this rebuild. Now, standing time, we take the 1 seed. Finally, the Dallas Mavericks have been knocked, I guess, off the pole for now, I guess, if you will, from the top of it. Anyways, here's a look at the East. The Detroit Pistons are taking the 1 seed over here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers real quick. Points per game. You can see some things are a little bit spread out. We now have 3 guys at 20-plus points. I will take that. Nikola Topic off the bench as a sixth man at 13.5 points. Cason Wallace, Rob Will, Isaac Ware, Alvarado, and Ryan Dunn. Rebounds, we were led by Rob Will, and assists is going to be Devin Booker. So first round of the playoffs, us and the Pelicans. Fred VanVleet, VJ Edgecombe, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Zvonimir Ivicic, and you got DeJounte Murray coming off the bench. That is not my favorite first round matchup in the world. I am not going to lie to you. We quickly do go up 3-0 though. They win game 4. Thank you very much. Now it is us and the Houston Rockets here in the Western Conference semis. They have Lonzo. Oh, do not remove Derek White from my Celtics. What the fuck is going on outside? Give me a minute. Hopefully it's not too loud for you out there. I opened my window. There's some asshole running around with a leaf blower. There's no leaves. I'm not really sure what he's doing, but welcome to city life. If you want to move to a city, just know there's going to be some very loud noises at very inconvenient times. But I have to finish this rebuild. It is Cam Whitmore, Jabari Smith Jr., Alperen Şengün. Hopefully that's not too annoying in the background. God, I hate people. All right, it is us and the Houston Rockets here in the Western Conference semifinals. Of course, we have not been out of the Western Conference semifinals yet, and it is now an up 3-1, and there we go. Us and the Minnesota Timberwolves here, they have obviously owned us in this video, and even before this video even started, so I would be lying if I said I wasn't a bit nervous. Quick 2-0 lead for us. They do win game 3 and game 4. Don't do this. Please. I'm going to close my eyes. I sim the game, and I'm just going to go out on a limb. I'm going to assume we won. Fuck you, Anthony Edwards. Fuck you. Oh, my God. This... Chet Holmgren's on the Pistons? What the fuck is this rebuild? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Well, Anthony Edwards, I mean, I don't really have much else to say at this point. He just owns up so much real estate in our heads at this point. It's just legitimately not even funny. So, yeah, this was an interesting rebuild. I thought we had... Here goes this asshole with the leaf blower again. I gotta end this rebuild before I lose my fucking mind. I apologize, Suns fans. I think I made you a little bit better than where you are in real life right now, but you are not in a fun position. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know you have 2 really good players with Booker and Kevin Durant, and you have a competent third option in Bradley Beal, but I don't really love your future going forward. I don't. So just being straight up honest with you, I hope it all works out in the end for you, though. So that's it from me. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. Now he turns the leaf blower off. I'll catch you in the next one.